Greetings all. Well, if you recall, perhaps a few videos back, I had said, Halloween's coming and I'm kind of drying up on my spooky stories. I've told most of my best ones, and so I had requested if the viewers have anything creepy out there, send it along. I'll put it on the air. Well, I did get a few responses. Yeah. And so far, every one of them I eventually will put on between here and Halloween. Well, I started thinking about it. I got kind of excited, and I said, Walmart's putting out the candy and the masks. I'm going to start Halloween stories. Fall's here in a couple of days anyway, so we're heading into the darkness. Well, again, a few of the stories I received were very classic ghost type. Yeah. And, well, I'd say probably 50% of people in America today probably would admit to believing in ghosts or having had experience with ghosts. It's fairly common, actually. But a couple of the other stories I received, boy, I tell you, if I'd been trying to imagine something weird, I don't know if I got to come up with anything quite this strange. I have two stories that I will relate here between now and Thanksgiving that were just absolutely strange. And here is the first one, okay? I have a bump in the night story for you. Many years ago, when I lived outside Whitestown, Indiana, I was sitting around my fireplace with my collie Lady when I heard a noise. Lady barked furiously, and I became fearful because my husband was out of town and I was all alone with my infant son. I wouldn't see my husband again until Sunday morning. I was only 18 years old and on an 80-acre turkey and corn farm. Next morning, Lady and I went out for a stroll on the farm when we came across a headless turkey laying on the ground. Lady kept circling it and whining and whimpering. I became very concerned. Well, now pausing for a moment, in my experience at this point right here, had I stopped the story and I said, that's simple. That's a mink. Yes, I have my own experience with minks decapitating my chickens. A mink is one of the few creatures that I've run across, other than a human being, who will go for a bloodlust and start killing for fun and pleasure. Yeah, I walked into my chicken coop one morning, looked down on the floor, and I had 6 hens laying there with their throats ripped out. The heads were still in place, but the throats were gone. I said, oh my goodness, what could do something like this? I mean, that's nuts. Didn't even eat them. Well, I went to get my neighbor, who was a trapper, fur trapper, and bring him by, and I said, hey, Mikey, I got this problem, man. Something killed 6 of these chickens. Look at this. Mike took one look at it and goes, oh, that's a mink. I went, a mink? He says, yeah. One of the only other things besides human beings that will go into a bloodlust and start murdering things. It just was having fun killing your birds. It's in here somewhere, Mike says. So he says, why don't you go on outside and patch up any holes you can see on the coop? And so I went outside and I had a little hole in the eave and took a piece of wood and a hammer and nailing it on. And I'm out there. I got a shotgun with me in case I happen to run across this critter. Well, Mike's inside and he's looking around. All of a sudden in there I hear him going, here, Minky, Minky, Minky. Here, Minky, Minky. I go, Mike, what the heck you doing? He says, oh, minks are curious. He says, I'm calling him. He'll come out. Oh, you're out of your mind. No, give me the hammer. Okay. Whack! Huh? Mike comes out the door, holding the mink. Yeah, Mink stuck his head out of the knot hole in the chicken coop wall, and Mike just went whap! And, tossed him in the freezer for fur season. He'll go with the rest of the minks. Anyhow, so that would be my first reaction to this story. All right, I said, that's a mink. Well, I had to change my mind. Yeah. Because Well, as Tangerine says, she became very concerned, so she called the farmer who tends them. What he found was something he couldn't explain. Over 1,000 turkeys had no heads. Not a drop of blood on the ground, not a feather ruffled. The farmer took the carcasses and piled them up in a mountain so high I could see them from my house some distance away. Farmer would call professionals to try to explain what sort of critter could have done that. The only answer they could come up with was a groundhog, which I've seen roaming around. But I knew this was BS. Groundhogs do not kill turkeys in the night. And pausing for a second, yes, Tangerine's absolutely correct. Groundhogs are vegetarians. They eat roots, berries, nuts, seeds, all sorts of plant material, but they're vegetarians. They got rodent teeth, okay? Anything that eats meat or would kill a turkey will have canines. It's going to have the teeth of a carnivore, pointed teeth, like Gracie down here. Yeah, Gracie's got the right kind of teeth for that. So, yeah, I don't know who these guys were, supposedly professionals, because that's why I say beliefs. Beware belief. Well, anyway, so these so-called professionals and the farmer set up a trap and with the groundhog to kill him. I was very sad about this. I moved away shortly after that, so I don't know if the culprit was ever found. The strange thing, according to the farmer, was that every single dead turkey was drained dry of blood. Lady may have saved me from some fate worse that night. Well, I'm saying, sounds like cattle mutilations if you ask me. Frankly, I've changed my mind. It wasn't a mink. Let's call Linda Moulton Howe. She's the expert on cattle mutilations. Well, I'll tell you, we have a lot of incidents of cattle, particularly beef cows, beef steers, on the range out west being, surgically incised with, their udders being removed, their eyeballs being removed, their lips being taken off, and all sort of strange stuff. Again, blood drained. This is the incidence with cattle mutilation, is that apparently these animals are always bloodless. And a lot of them appear to have been dropped from sort of a height. Yeah, be impact on the ground. So it's a serious problem out west because, a beef cow is worth a lot of money. And you start losing any number of them, which some of these ranchers have, to this cattle mutilation phenomenon. That seriously tears into your income. It's so far nobody has ever really managed to put their finger down on what causes it. Linda Moulton Howe, who I guess we would say is the expert on this subject because she's been studying it for years. She believes it's aliens. Exactly what they are using the animal tissue for, I don't know. It's very strange, but it would seem that turkeys missing heads, no heads anywhere to be seen. Where'd the heads go? Bloodless. Now, my explanation is that, it was aliens, and they harvested the turkey heads. Why? For turkey brains, because they have a program of transplanting turkey brains into members of Congress. Yeah, I mean, just listen to them. Half of them already have probably had their human brains removed and the brain of a turkey stuck inside their skull. Gobble, 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 gobble. Hang loose, happy Halloween. Have a great fall. Aloha.